Tacoma Warranty will be destroyed by Aftermarket Mods. Well, good morning, everybody. How are you? Pretty good here. And will your Toyota Tacoma Warranty be destroyed by Aftermarket Mods? You know, I get a lot of questions on the channel about that. People ask me, you know, if you put that on your truck, how will it affect your warranty? Will it void your warranty? I get this question all the time, probably because I've done so many mods to my Toyota Tacoma, right? I mean, mostly are just aesthetic, but there's a couple that affect things. You know, I have the aftermarket exhaust under there. You know, some might argue that, well, that affects the performance of the truck, right? I mean, you're changing the back pressure on the truck. It's gonna cause your engine, your motor warranty to be voided, right? I put the remote switch on the battery. It's hooked up to the battery, the electrical system. Some have asked, well, if something fails electrically, that's gonna void your warranty. Well, I'm here to tell you, it depends, right? Now, there is something out there, and I actually wrote it down so I could get the name right. It is the MagnusonMoss Warranty Act of 1975. I was just a wee tot back then, but well, maybe not that wee, but younger. But anyway, this act is to protect people against dealerships, in this case, your Toyota dealership, not that specifically, but in this context. Against them denying your warranties for little things that don't really apply, right? Now, let's give you an example. Let's give you a couple of examples. You know, let's say that you decide to put some different aftermarket windshield wipers on your truck, right? Because the ones that are on there just aren't doing the job. And for safety's sake, you kind of need to be able to see when you're out driving your truck around, right? So let's say you do that, you put your windshield wipers on, and your rear tail light goes out. Now, you're still within the warranty period. You just bought the truck maybe 6, 8, 9 months ago, something like that. Your rear tail light goes out, but you've put aftermarket windshield wipers on. Now, in the old days, the dealership might have been able to void your warranty because of that. They'd have said that you changed the truck. But when this act came out, all that changed, right? And the way it reads, and again, let me get this exactly right, or as close to right as I can. The Warranty Act states, and this is an interpretation of it, of course, but the Warranty Act states that the dealer must prove that the aftermarket part caused the need for repairs to be done. In other words, and this all lies with the dealer, right? They have to prove this. You don't have to prove anything, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But they would have to prove that because you put those aftermarket windshield wipers on there, that they somehow caused your tail light bulb to blow, to fail, right? Now that's crazy. I mean, we all know, unless you really locate them incorrectly, I don't know. But we all know that if you put aftermarket windshield wipers on your truck, they're not associated in any way with your tail light, right? So that's kind of a ridiculous example, but that's kind of the way it used to be. Now, another example, let's say, and something maybe a little more related, and we'll get to the proof part of it here. Let's say that for some reason one of my shocks failed. Man, it is bright out here. But let's say one of my shocks failed on the truck, and I still had, which I don't, but I still had OEM shocks, right? Let's say I put this bed rack on there. One of my shocks blew out, it failed, and I went to the dealership and said, hey, you need to replace my shock, right? And they said, oh, no, you put that bed rack on there, and that caused the shock to fail. Now, this is where it gets to be a little gray, you know, because I did add weight to the truck, right? Now, it's gray here because the truck is supposed to be able to haul weight. And obviously, putting this bed rack on is not exceeding the hauling or the recommended extreme or weight capacity of the truck, right? So they might have a little bit of a hard time proving that. But for sake of argument, let's say that they went that route and they said that, Well, because you have that extra weight on the truck, we're not going to cover that shock. So now you have a problem, right? You have choices. One, you can pay for the repair yourself. Well, who wants to do that? You have warranty. Or you can go to court. Now, I know a lot of people say that, well, you can just sue them. Well, sure, you can sue anybody for anything. But that costs money, right? I mean, you have to hire an attorney, and even if you represent yourself, there are court costs, there are fees, there's time. And in the meanwhile, you're still driving around with that broken shock, right? I mean, you need to have it fixed. So chances are, unless you have a second vehicle, you're probably going to go ahead and have it fixed anyway and hope to recoup the cost of having that done if you win your suit 5 years after you file it. You know, it's kind of the way it goes. So there are some gray areas. It's not as cut and dried. If you come to a situation where maybe it's marginal, and maybe you did cause something, then maybe you're going to have a problem. And I'll give you an example of that. Let's say that you put, I don't know, aftermarket LED bulbs in your headlights. And a lot of people do this, or even the LEDs inside the cab. And let's say that for some reason one of those bulbs failed and caused a fire inside your truck. And let's say that fire was pretty darn severe, burned the whole thing to the ground. Well, as much as you can with metal, right? Maybe it was really hot and it melted. I don't know. But let's say that happened. Well, now you're going to have a problem, because if the dealer can prove that the bulb that you put in caused that fire, they are not going to cover your truck under warranty, and the act is not going to help you, nor should it, I suppose. I mean, you did change the bulb, right? And if it caused a catastrophic fire, and let's face it, it could happen. Not really, probably very likely, but it could happen. Then that's on you, and they are not going to cover you. Again, they have to prove that. Might be kind of difficult to do since your truck is laying there in a molten pile of metal on the pavement. But nonetheless, if they can prove it, then you're going to have a problem, and indeed, your warranty is not going to cover the truck. Maybe something a little less extreme, again, with this LED bulb scenario. Let's say that you replace your headlight bulbs right up here in the front with LEDs, and for some reason they get too hot and they melt the cover of your headlights. You know, the lovely plastic that's on the front right here. Well, and then you want to take the truck in and try to have that cover replaced under warranty. Probably not going to happen. I think it would be pretty evident once they look at what you've done that bulb heated up and caused the damage to your headlight cover. Again, that's going to be on you. They're not going to cover that under warranty. Back to my other bigger example, using the LED bulb again. If your exhaust fell off and they notice that you put an LED bulb in your headlight, they should still cover your exhaust. The two are not related. So basically, your warranty is not going to be affected unless the dealer can prove that whatever mod you did directly caused the need for repair of whatever part failed. Anyway, I hope that clears it up. I get a lot of questions about that on the channel. It really is just that cut and dried. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've ever taken your truck into a dealership and they've refused a warranty because of some aftermarket part that you've added. I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, if you haven't before and you're interested, check out my other channel. It is RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator back here. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.